this is not a dress rehearsal. This is life. So who are you? What do you want to share with the world? What do you want to create? And how do you want to be in the world? And how do you want to leave others feeling?
I like it. I like it. All right, welcome back, Wellness Ninjas, to another episode of the Wellness Dojo podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Craik, and Lisa, I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
Nervous is good, though, right?
Nervous just means that I care. So yes.
Yeah. What did you just say to me right before we started recording?
I said I'm gonna get out of my head and into my heart.
That's awesome. So what does that mean to you? I'm curious.
For me, that means being very intentional and just getting out of my own way.
Yeah.
And
easier said than done, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Actually, my daughter the other day, she said something to my son, and I was like, whoa. And it really hit me. And I've never repeated this. I've never said this to her, but she said, we were on our boat and we were wake surfing, and my middle son wanted to do a 360 on his wakeboard. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'm scared. He's going to hate me for sharing this. And my daughter was like, you're not scared of doing it. You're just scared of failing, and you're scared of the judgment. And I was like, whoa. I was like, cool. When you learn from your 12-year-old daughter, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap, I do that all the time.
Yeah. It's amazing how early, like as an adult now, listening to youth who are talking about these things.
So cool.
It's amazing to hear that they're having these thoughts, because I don't remember having thoughts like that when I was that age.
Not at all.
Even as low as like 8 years old and younger, right? Having these thoughts about fear of failure and stuff like that.
I know.
And it's still there, like you said. Like I still have
all
that
the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Like when you're like, "Hey, Lise, let's come talk on my podcast," and I was like, that scares me. Mm-hmm. That scares me. But why does that scare me? Probably fear of judgment.
Yeah. There is something about fear too that is, I think, very necessary in life. Like it's very much a building block for us.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So you mentioned
I'll go off on tangents. just bring it back. I love it.
That's what this show is all about.
Yeah.
We go off on all the tangents.
Yeah.
But before we get too deep into all the nooks and crannies of everything, I do want my audience to know a little bit about you.
Yes.
You're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, an author, a leader, a mentor. Like how do we encompass all of that into who is Lisa?
Lisa is just in service of others, and I just want to spread the light and grow the light, and youth, that being mostly youth focused. Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that's the root.
Yeah.
Of who I am.
Yeah, I love it. And you're one of the inspiring leaders of the Orenda Society as well. A team that I've had the pleasure of being able to work closely with, especially recently in more recent years, which I've really loved. Can you talk a little bit about how did you get to this point of wanting to work primarily with youth and with women, and how did you get there?
Shout out to you. Thank you for working with Orenda, because we appreciate you. Where did this come from? That's a really good question. Well, if I was to go back, I would say I had a really tough time in middle school. And I was bullied a lot. It was hard. I, doubted myself. And I didn't want, when I grew up, when I reflect on that time in my life, I just needed some positivity and needed someone to believe in me. And my parents are amazing. They are unbelievable. Love my parents. Great relationship. But I think having maybe some outside mentors or resources to just give me that little extra support, I think would have been really helpful. And so I started teaching and working with kids because I love kids. They are so in the moment and so present, and I think we can learn so much from them. And it really grew from there. And I got married, had kids, and I stopped teaching. And then I was feeling that call to go back to work, and I just didn't want to work in like a structured teaching environment. So I wanted to be more wellness-based, mental, spiritual, physical, emotional learning for kids. And weird university stuff. I met Jamie and Heather from the Orenda Society, and it just kind of went from there. And it's really grown into something so unbelievable. And it's something that I wish that I had when I was a kid.
Yeah. The work you guys are doing is incredible, and I'm happy to be a part of it in any small way that I can.
Yeah. We're so thankful that you are a part of it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it's such a great environment, and the work that we're doing with it is so important. And it's interesting too, because I guess we can kind of relate on this from the sounds of it, but I sometimes almost feel like a little bit bad, or like a little bit imposter syndrome in some ways, because I did have really good parents growing up as well. Like, my parents loved me, they supported me, and we do get the opportunity to work with a lot of youth who didn't have that, who are struggling because they didn't have that support, or they didn't have parents that they needed in certain times. And I do sometimes, I'm like, oh man, who am I to talk about these things when I had a very positive upbringing and stuff. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we don't go through struggles. That doesn't mean that we don't still learn some of these lessons.
Right.
Do you relate to that as well?
1,000,000,000%. I think that all the time. I'm like, I had a really great childhood. My parents did the best they can. They loved me. They supported me. They were both working parents.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Maybe they were, I don't know. But yeah, I feel exactly the same way. So that's interesting that you bring that up, because I'm like, oh, well, I didn't necessarily experience childhood trauma, but maybe they weren't big childhood traumas. Maybe they were small traumas that, being just bullied in middle school. Maybe that's what it was for me, that, that was my struggle. Yeah. And I did learn a lot from that. Yeah. But yeah, grew up in a very healthy, loving family.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember sitting down with Derek, who's also a part of the Orenda team, and I remember we were talking and we were recording, and I remember I said something to him where I'm like, sometimes I almost wish I had more adversity growing up, which is like such like a not a great thing to say, but I do, like, if I'm being super honest and vulnerable with it, there are times where I'm like, sometimes I wish I had that, because like, I feel like that those things make you stronger. And I think, but we also lean too much sometimes into, I need to fail in order to grow and stuff. Truth. I think there's a lot of value also in looking at, like, I had a lot of advantages and privilege growing up as well. And that's okay. And I can give myself grace even with that. Right. And grow from that as well. Yeah.
And it made you who you are.
Yeah.
Right? So you are, all these things had to fall in place for you to be where you are and doing what you're doing in your community and helping others.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe it wouldn't have been like that. I don't know. Things, I guess, stack up for a reason.
Yeah. And you mentioned you were bullied.
Yes.
Yeah. So are you okay to talk about that a little bit?
Sure.
What that experience was like for you?
Yeah. Kids are all feeling insecure, and it's a hormones are crazy and things are changing and they don't know who they are, and it's just a weird time. And when I look back, it wasn't necessarily, the bully being, they were just projecting how they felt. But I didn't know that at the time. Yeah. Obviously, I took it personally, and it hurt my feelings.
Yeah. And how did you...
And I was a very sensitive...
Were you? Yeah.
...kid. Yes. And I still am. But now I just know that that's my superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you... Like, what was that what was that journey like for you in terms of like you're being bullied, you had to find your way like kind of through the light, I guess would be a good way to say it. How did you get out of that? How did you create that positive experience from something that felt so negative at the time?
I don't think it happened overnight. I think my confidence and who just kind of I grew into it just kind of developed over time. I wouldn't say I came out of that super positive right away. It was something that slowly shifted, and it still pops up in my mind. And I'm like, oh, wow, Lisa, you're in your 40s. You know,
just like insecurities and stuff that pop up. Or
yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of hard work, so I feel like I'm fairly grounded with all of that now, but it does pop up. I'm human.
Yeah. It's again one of those things in my mind that continues to pop up where I'm like, should I even like, I'm like, I didn't have any, like, how do I want to say this to you right now? I think it's the very real experience of like, it's a slow process, and it's not like one thing happens. I mean, for some people, maybe there's like a really definite thing that happens and you shift. But for my experience in life, a lot of times it's not like that. There's not like one moment that just like shifts everything. It's a building of moments that has shifted things slowly over time. For the positive or the negative. It
is. I would say it is a building of moments. Although I did have an experience that really shifted my perspective on my life when I was in my 20s. That was a huge aha moment. And I'm assuming you just want me to share. So should I keep talking about it?
Of course.
I was misdiagnosed in my 20s with having bone marrow cancer. But I didn't have it. That's just what they were leaning towards. And so that was a big wake up moment for me. It just ended up being a bone infection. I had it treated. It was all good. It was easy peasy. But that was like a, whoa, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is life. So who are you? What do you want to share with the world? What do you want to create? And how do you want to be in the world? And how do you want to leave others feeling? So then it was like, joy is my mission. Let's go. Kindness, joy, and going back to growing the light and spreading the light.
It's like this state of being almost. It's understanding like what does me being here, what do I want it to mean, and how do I actually be it? It's kind of like what that sounds like, a realization of. It's like, what do I want to do here, and how do I start to become that more? Yeah.
Exactly. Life's big question. Yeah.
It's such a daunting question, right?
But I think we overcomplicate it.
We do.
We overcomplicate that.
So how do you think we overcomplicate that?
Oh my gosh. Well, exactly what I said before. We're too much up in our heads and not in our hearts enough. Our thoughts just take over a little bit, I think.
And how do we, in your opinion, start to navigate that? How do we start to get out of our head more and more into our heart?
I truly believe it's just being authentically who you are and being present in the moment.
Yeah.
Straight up. I don't think it's not a complicated answer, even though it feels like it is.
Yeah. I was going to say it sounds simple, right? But to be your most authentic self, a lot of people will hear that and be like,
I don't even know.
But I don't even know what that is. Like, how do I find my most authentic self? How do I know what's authentic?
Right. That's true.
What would you say to somebody that's asking those questions?
Oh, gosh. That's a
It's a big question, right?
One, Kyle.
How did you how did you discover that in yourself, I guess? Maybe a better question.
It's being who I am. I don't even know how to explain this. You actually got me. It's being who you are and whatever that looks like. So for me, I am a very joyful, happy person. Sometimes I feel like, depending on the environment that I'm in, I used to feel like this. I used to feel like I had to bring my joy and my love and my kindness down depending on who I was with. Mm-hmm. That is not being my authentic self. So for me, I was like, whoa, if you're going to authentically show up and be who you are, be that authentic, loving, kind, joyful person that you are. Mm-hmm. If they don't like that or accept that, then that's on them. That's not on me. Because I'm just being who I am.
Yeah. Do you have a specific example that comes to mind of a time when you felt like you were in that situation where you were around a certain person or group where you felt like you had to bring your joy and happiness down to match theirs and it didn't feel good?
Yeah, I would say like sometimes in the past, I would say just not specific situation. I would just say, you know, if I'm in a certain meeting with someone and they're maybe not at the same level of energy that I have for that day, then I'm like, oh, I better tone it down and be more professional. And then I'm like, whoa, that's actually not even who I am.
Yeah.
I can still be professional and intelligent and roll in this meeting with joy and love and kindness.
Yeah. Yeah. I have an example that I can give you of me feeling that as well, where I was just trying to like tap into my more creative side. And
I love that.
I've always loved hip hop and poetry and this type of stuff. And so I started doing these just for fun. I started recording these like freestyle Fridays.
Cool.
Where I would just like pick a topic and then I would just try and freestyle on it.
That's really cool and very challenging.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I would do it on like wellness or fitness, nutrition topics. So I would keep it relevant to what I was trying to help people with at that time. But then I remember I had a coach at one point that was kind of like, you know, I don't know how this is going to look when you're trying to get in with like corporations and you want to go in and work with them. And then they look at your social media and they see you doing this like rapping kind of thing on the side. And I remember being like, yeah, that makes sense. And then so I stopped doing them. And I just remember reflecting on it later, again, in hindsight, and being like, man, like, but I enjoyed doing that. Like that was like my creative expression.
Right.
And I had to realize that and be like, if the people who were considering working with me didn't like that version of me, like, would we have been successful long term anyways? Because that creative version, like, I'm not going to go into companies and just like rap for them, but like, you know,
I kind of want to put you on the spot and get you to freestyle right now. Yeah, not going to lie.
Maybe at the end. It might be at the end. But no, it's like, I did have that realization, and I've had realizations like that as well throughout my life where you're just like, usually it's in hindsight, which kind of sucks, but it's just...
It does kind of suck, but...
how life goes.
Growing the awareness is always good.
Yeah. And I think curiosity is so big with like trying those things, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How has curiosity played into you discovering your authentic self?
Well, I speak to it in the book as well, in my children's book. It's really important to get curious. And I just think in all aspects of life, getting curious about who you are, who others are, just everything. Everything.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to like narrow that down because it's just getting curious about life.
Yeah. And I think it's one of the things that I see working with youth as well is I think sometimes they're almost afraid to try things that are different, right? Like my daughter, I always talk to her. I always remind her, I'm like, you're so like uniquely you. And I'm like, don't ever lose that, because she's not afraid to do different things than what her friends are doing. She's not afraid to still enjoy some of the things that she liked when she was younger.
That's awesome.
Even if her friends have grown out of that phase and stuff, I'm like, keep that. Because that's you. That's what you enjoy.
Right.
And I think there are a lot of kids, sadly, and especially adults, right, that have gotten into this. We've almost been pigeonholed a little bit into, well, this isn't the norm, so I'm not going to try it. But until we try things, how do we know if we like it or not, or if it feels right? And how do we find that self-awareness if we're not trying things?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Way to go, Dad.
Yeah, thanks.
That's good.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Yeah.
Just get curious.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And you said you talk about that in the book. So let's talk about the book a
I
little
do.
bit. So Follow Your Rainbow. I have a copy here. Tell me about the book.
Well, that is my little labor of love. I wanted to write a children's book. I remember thinking very clearly when I was in grade 2. So I was around 7 or 8 in grade 2. That I wanted to write a children's book. I had an experience. I wrote a story. My teacher invited me up to the front of the classroom. I thought I was going to puke because I was a very quiet, shy little girl. And I shared my story. And then after, I was like, oh, that was the best thing ever. I loved it. It just made me feel so good. And I loved it. And I remember thinking, one day I'm going to write a children's book and share it with the world.
Yeah.
And so grow up and start adulting. And I had my own 3 kids, and I was saying to my kids, you got to listen to what your heart is telling you. It's so important. Get curious, listen to what it's telling you, follow your dreams, all the stuff that we say that we're really hoping is at least planting a seed in our children's brain.
Yeah.
And as I was saying this to my kids, I was like, holy shit. Oh, can I swear? Sorry.
You can swear.
Sorry for
good.
the
No,
SHIT word. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm telling my kids to follow their dream. And I have kind of shoved one of my big dreams down. So I was like, okay, well, that's bullshit. So I was like, okay, let's go. Let's do this. So I went to Kids Life Coach training, and I had a very strong pull to this concept of what I wrote about, knowing that sharing with kids that their light is within them, everything that they need is within them. And yeah, just slowly, it was a long process. It took about 3 years to develop it. And then Blair helped illustrate it. He's amazing. And just slowly pulled this to life. And yeah, now it's out in the world and it's so great. And I just, writing this book, I wrote it it's a children's book. It's a children's picture book, but really the message is for everyone. It's for grown-ups too. Yeah. Because I think often as grown-ups, we forget that, yeah, everything you do need is within you. Yeah. It's all in there. You just got to reach for it.
Yeah. And the illustrations are beautiful. Like
I know. Blair is extremely talented.
I love
Thank you, Blair.
The color pop as well. Like, yeah. Do you want to share your little experience?
Oh my goodness. Is that shareable? Yes.
I know you shared it on your Instagram, and your reaction when you realized this was so priceless. I loved it. Like, you should start laughing.
How funny is it though? Actually, I made a book about colors. It's called Follow Your Rainbow. And it was printed with no colors. So I was like, well, that's ironic. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that was interesting. But that's just like, that's life. That's what happens when you're going for something. Stuff comes up. Yeah. And you just got to roll with it. And there's so much learning and growth that goes along with that. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, I would have been crying. I would have been so upset. And I'm like, well, I guess I could have had that reaction, but I don't know. I was like, okay, well, back to it. Yeah. And in reality, it really didn't take that long to fix. It only took a couple of weeks to fix. So
I think most things are like that, though. It's like
100%.
They seem so big. And then when you actually take action on them, it's like, okay, this, maybe wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, or it didn't take as long to fix as I thought. No,
but also, okay.
Yeah, that sounds
rolled with it.
It sounds like you stuck to your authentic self. Right?
It was really funny. It was actually really funny. Like that video, my daughter and I were laughing so hard. Like that was authentically us, just laughing. Like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I love it. And there's a resiliency with that too, right? Which is something that I'm really passionate about building in the youth is resiliency and just being able to shift in those moments, because that could have felt very devastating. Like, oh my God, like my colorful book is black and white.
Yes.
Right?
And I think younger me wouldn't have been able to handle that as well. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
But old, wise me, just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm learning and growing every day.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of being a human.
It is. Mm-hmm. And there's a willingness, I think, that's required for that too. Right?
There is. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A willingness to, I guess, just see things for how they could be instead of how they feel in the moment. Mm-hmm. I guess is what comes to mind for me with that. But yeah.
Yep.
So how does it feel now to have the book? It's now the way that you want it to be, the way you intended it to
be. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so great. I love sharing the book in classrooms and with youth and with grown-ups and whomever gets their hands on it. It's on Amazon, but it's also in Indigo and all the places. So
yeah, I've seen it around,
it's great.
I've seen it around Calgary. I've seen it in Indigo, and I've seen it at South Center Mall.
Yeah, it was there for a little bit too. Yeah.
I remember I saw it. I'm like, hey, I know the author of this book.
Yeah.
My kids are like, oh, really? Cool.
Yeah,
like, you know her too, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I'm very thankful, and I just want to keep spreading that love around. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Our world needs it.
Yeah.
And our kids need it.
Definitely.
They just need someone to believe in them, and they need to believe in themselves.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
So let's pivot just a little bit and go back to Orenda Society, because that is one of the centered places where you are doing just that and providing that light for the youth and stuff. You want to talk a little bit just about what the Orenda Society currently has going on right now?
Well, we are in full-time summer mode. So we have all our summer camps going. It's been amazing. We have summer soul sessions. That starts our summer off. It is a camp to make authentic, healthy friendships. It's a camp to grow confidence. It is a camp to build that self-love and that self-trust and that self-worth. And it's, again, things that Jamie and I needed when we were younger, and now we have the opportunity and are just so grateful that we get to work with youth. And it's honestly, it's an absolute blast. It's really fun because I am very in touch with my inner child, and when I'm with kids, I get to express that, and it's really fun, and I love working with kids.
Yeah.
And I learn more from them.
I was gonna say it too.
Like, honestly,
I'm the same. Yeah.
Selfishly, I learn more from the youth than they probably learn from me.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about sticking to this career path that I'm currently on. Even though it goes through ups and downs, and there's times where you're like, I wish it was more, and I wish I was further ahead, and all those thoughts that everybody experiences. You're constantly learning and growing in a career like this, where you get to work with people. Because whether it's a 4-year-old or whether it's somebody who's, lived longer than you, somebody who's lived much more life than you, you're learning from every single person that you come across. You get to learn more about like the insights of the youth mind. You get to learn more about, for me, it's like what what other men are struggling with as well.
Right.
Men who come from different backgrounds as me, and all those types of things. So there's this major benefit in being in a career like this, where you are constantly learning from other people and growing, and it just makes you better and better every day, I think.
Yeah. Very thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the big challenges that you guys are seeing? Because you're working mostly with girls and women, correct?
Yes.
What are some of the major challenges or the most common challenges that you guys are seeing come in through the doors?
Well, first off, we're a nonprofit, so that is always tricky to navigate because there's a lack of funding currently. But we're working on that, and we're really excited about it, and it will happen. It just takes time.
Yep.
And I would also say that I find, even from when I first started teaching until now, I would say the big thing that I notice in kids is that they're very overstimulated. So that is just somewhere where our society has gone, and that's not good or bad, but it's just a big awareness that I have had working with youth and all ages and adults too, actually, including myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. So is that too much screen time? What does that look like? It's probably a whole bunch of things. So that is something that I like to really keep in the forefront of my mind when I'm working with kids.
Yeah. How do you approach that, knowing that kids are coming in with a tendency, I guess, to be more overstimulated? I guess that's not the right way to say it, but they're coming in already overstimulated. How do you approach that to kind of help regulate?
Well, it's just doing what we do at Orenda. Mm-hmm. It's sitting in circle. It's having face-to-face conversations in community, real conversations, and talking about what's going on inside of us, sharing our feelings. It's movement. It's those, like, talking about building those healthy habits. It's sitting still and being quiet and knowing that that's okay, because that helps bring you back to who you are and your heart and like what's going on with you. So everything that Orenda's doing it makes me realize how important the work we're doing is.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, like we talked about before, when we were young, like, I don't remember feeling those things, but I probably was. Mm-hmm. There just was nobody who was talking about it in those ways. There was nobody who was bringing it to the surface to be like, oh, the reason why you feel this way, or the reason why you're, behave this way maybe is because you're overstimulated, is because you are not regulated. Whereas now as adults, we kind of have more of an understanding with that. There's more education around it.
Right.
How beneficial for these kids now that can have those conversations to be like, yeah, no, you're not crazy for feeling this way, or you're not a bad kid for acting out this way. No. It's like this is kind of what society has given us right now. Kind of. And
it starts with us as adults. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That was funny. I was feeling that way this morning too. I had, like, all my kids were here and stuff, and I was getting everything set up for the podcast, and had a couple other things I had to do on my computer, and like my boys were downstairs and they're making a bunch of noise, and there's a TV going upstairs and stuff. And I remember just, like, I was sitting there for a minute and I felt that. I was, like, so overstimulated to the point where I was starting to feel agitated. And so I just put my headphones in, sat on my computer, I put some music on so I couldn't hear anything but my own music. And, like, I literally just had to do that. And then once everybody got out of the house, I just took a moment. I, like, sat down and I was just like, take a couple deep breaths and, like, and regulate yourself.
Yes.
But it took time to understand that, like, that's normal, first of all, and that's, like, I need that now. Not everybody maybe needs to approach that in the same way, but for me now, I recognize it's like, okay, before Lisa gets here, like, I need to take a moment to, like, center myself and like bring this stimulation down. Right.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
Being very aware. And it's mind blowing, because I teach this, and sometimes I get so caught up in, I'm so overstimulated, and then I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. When you live such a busy life too, right?
Right.
It's like when you're a go-getter like that too, you have all these things that you want to accomplish, a book, a nonprofit, like all this stuff.
Kids are busy. There is a lot of moving parts. Yeah.
You're just go constantly. It's how do you find the time to take those moments because I think there's a lot of people out there that are like, like, I don't know if you hear this a lot, but I know I have in the past with fitness and stuff like that too. But they're like, well, it's easy for you because you're passionate about it, or, I'm just not that same type of person to be able to, like, meditate and stuff like that. It's not easy.
Meditation scares everybody, I feel like.
And it's never easy to find the time. So I'm just curious
100%.
how you do it.
It's just prioritizing it. And I know that when I am calm and regulated, I just show up as a better human in my marriage, as a mom, in all my roles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not even, it's a non-negotiable. And you know what? Even if my day doesn't allow for like maybe a 10, 20-minute meditation, it's sitting in my car before I go into a meeting or before I go into an author visit out of school and taking a couple of really intentional deep breaths. Again, it's not overcomplicating it. It's keeping it simple and accessible.
Yeah. I think people think it has to be big things always, and we undervalue the small acts in everything. But in particular, in regulating yourself and even in finding that authentic version of yourself, right? It's the small things are really powerful, especially when you find those small things consistently. Like you said, being in your car, just taking that deep breath before you go in, or pausing in that conversation that's starting to get tense or heated. Stepping out and trying to see it from somebody else's perspective. Like those little things go a really long way in terms of the overall outcome of life.
100 million%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your breath, especially. Your breath is your anchor. So staying connected to that is huge. Another thing that I talk about lots in the book, I come back to that all the time, just to get that repetition for kids, like breathe and remember that love is always within you.
Yeah.
Breathe and remember.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a big.
So let's talk about. It's
very important.
Yeah, let's talk about breath a little bit, because it is something that you guys focus a lot on with the youth as well. Is that something? Are they pretty open to it usually, or are they like, oh, I've never done anything like this before?
I find kids way more open than adults, actually. Yeah. So like we work with both, and I find kids are way more open for the most part. Yeah, I think everyone's always a little bit kind of nervous to maybe sit there and breathe, which is actually hilarious because we do that all day long. But intentionally doing it for some reason, I don't know, that scares people. It's such a, like I said, it's such a accessible practice.
Yeah. You
can do it anywhere, anytime. Yeah.
And why is it so important for people to start to get connected back with their breath? What's the benefit?
It's just having that pause. It's giving you that pause. It calms your nervous system. And then you can go and do what you need to do with more clarity and more awareness. Yeah. I
think it's one of those things that you don't really notice the difference until you've done it too. Like, I'll give you an example. I did last night with my kids' fitness class. We finished the class with the breath of joy.
I love that.
Yeah. And I told them.
That's a great breath to practice.
Half of them are looking around like, are we really going to do this? Like, you have to make this noise and stuff like that. And I told them, I'm like, you're going to get back whatever you put into this. I'm like, so if you're kind of like shyly doing it and not really sure, I'm like, you're not going to feel as much of the difference in your body and in your mind and stuff. I'm like, but if you really go for it here, if you really just like step outside of your shell and just try it and just try and do the thing, I'm like, you will feel a difference. And the kids that did it, like they did, I was like, how did you guys feel afterwards? They're like, feel a little bit lightheaded, or they're like, I feel like kind of rejuvenated, like I feel energized, or I feel much more calm. And that's a really cool thing too, because people will feel, I think sometimes people think even with meditation, they're like, I have to do it this way and I'll get this same feeling that this person had. So everybody's unique. Everybody's going to feel it slightly different, but it's about connecting to that feeling, right?
Yes. I think the thing about meditation or breathing, just getting still, that scares people, or that I hear a lot, it's like, well, I can't turn my thoughts off. I have so many thoughts going on. And it's like, well, yeah, none of us can turn our thoughts off. It's just, you notice what comes up and then you let it go and focus back on your breath. There's no right way to meditate or breathe.
Yeah, because I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong with this or what your philosophy is, but it's not, like you said, it's not about turning things off. It's more just about like understanding and feeling more connected to how things are moving through you.
Exactly.
Right. When you think about thoughts and stuff, it's like Eckhart Tolle. I recently read the book, The Power of Now.
Oh,
yeah. So good.
So
right.
Good.
But it's this idea, and I've talked about this even in like the Brotherhood Project and stuff, where something finally clicked when I read that book for some reason, where it's like, I've heard this over and over again,
yes.
but the separation that you are not your thoughts and stuff.
Right.
And when I was reading it, something clicked in the...
I love when that happens.
The
Isn't
gap.
that great?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I remember just after reading that, just then putting it to practice and being like, let's see if I can just sit and find the gaps in my thoughts.
Yeah.
Right. And just recognizing that, like, I literally picture thoughts now coming like across, right? Versus this storm that I felt circulating in my head. Whereas now when I have thoughts, whether it's in like positive thoughts, happy thoughts, or whether it's like negative, intrusive thoughts, I just experience them coming and going now. Right. And that's a pretty cool thing. Because,
that's really cool.
Because you can see it and you can recognize that, like, okay, I'm here. My thoughts are here. These are two different things, and totally normal for them to be able to come through. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's
good for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's cool. It's awesome when you're like, oh, okay, here we go.
And it clicks. You're like, why didn't I get this sooner? But it doesn't matter because I got it now.
Yeah. But it's like, it's not even a thing to get.
So true.
It's just something that, I don't know, just naturally kind of happens if you're consistent.
Yeah. Consistency is definitely the key.
I think so too.
Yeah. But also, like, not to beat yourself up about if you're not consistent.
No.
Right?
Am I consistent? No.
Yeah.
Do I notice when I'm consistent? Yes. Do I know when I need to, like, practice or sit with myself more? Yes. Because I'll notice I'll just be a little bit. My mantra with my life in general is to try to be the calm in the chaos. I kind of say that to myself a lot. I'm a busy mom of all the things like we talked about, and be the calm in the chaos. So if I'm not regulated and I'm not calm, it's not going to look like that around me. So I'm just like, okay, how can I show up in this moment when there is so many things going on around me?
Yeah.
And my breath is my number one tool that keeps me in the moment and calm.
Yeah.
And being less reactive.
Yeah. It's so true. It's amazing how simple and effective that can be. Right? To even just stop and take one breath.
Yeah.
Can be so effective, like I said earlier, like even in like a conversation where you're like, somebody says something and it like triggers you, and you're like, oh, I just want to, it's just to take a minute.
Yeah.
Right.
Less reaction.
Or sleep on it. Like give it 24 hours before you
24-hour rule.
Yeah. Those types of things. And I think there's like boundaries and awareness play a big role in that too. Right. You have to have awareness of like, how do I feel in this moment? How do I want to react in this moment? And then to set a boundary with yourself, like, I do not react to comments like that, or I do not react to situations like that. I give myself time. Like rules and boundaries that you set for yourself, I think can be really helpful in keeping things consistent.
And that's hard to do. It's hard to do because we're all human and we're all kind of rolling through this together, and we all feel these big emotions. Yeah. And you're so like, ooh, this is a biggie. What's going on? And so I have a few feelings and emotions in the book, and not all of them. Obviously, there's so many different things that we feel as humans. However, just, telling kids that it's okay to feel all those different things and validating that for them as they grow. Hey, that's okay that you're angry. You don't want to stay angry, but it's okay that you're angry in this moment.
Yeah. I'm curious your thoughts on this, because there is a narrative in society right now as well that is we do too much, like that, where maybe kids are becoming too soft, or they're too in touch with their emotions, or it's like we're creating kids that are too sensitive in those ways. Like, have you heard those narratives, first of all?
Yes.
So
yes,
curious your thoughts on that, on like just curious your thoughts on that.
I don't know. Can we create humans that are too soft? Is that, I don't know. I don't know.
First of all, I love that your body language is just like ick right now with that question.
Well, is that a bad thing that we're connected to our emotions and how we're feeling?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make this a political thing, so part of me kind of feels like that's sort of where it came from in society a little bit. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I think so.
But no, I don't. I mean, the thing that I kind of think of, it's like, our parents would be like, oh, don't cry, you're fine.
Yeah.
And yes, our parents all said that to us. Mm-hmm. And it was okay.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily say that to my kids, but which I think is changing over generations. But are my kids like too soft and too connected to their feelings? And I don't know. I that's a really big topic, Kyle.
It is. Yeah, I know. And to bring it up late into an episode is a little bit unfair.
That's a biggie. But
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of different perspectives that you can look at that and kind of branch out in a lot of different ways. And like, toxic masculinity, like there's a bunch of different things that you could talk about. But is it wrong to connect kids to their emotions and their feelings? And no.
I bring it up because I think it's a barrier that we face in the work that we're doing, right? It's a barrier that I imagine you face in like bringing kids into these programs where you do have parents who, will feel resistance to that.
They do.
Where they're like,
they definitely do.
My kid needs to be tough. They need to put, like, we don't need to do all this woo-woo stuff. Like, there are mindsets out there, and obviously, okay, maybe those aren't our people that we're going to connect with right now. But also, I see it as a barrier in working with men and working with boys.
Right.
Because we have had this generational voice in our head that is telling you, like, no, you don't need to connect with your emotions and stuff. Like, you can just push through. Like, let's make progress. Let's just let's keep going. We're tough enough to deal with this. This isn't our job to deal with. There's a lot of that. So I think it is a barrier. And for me, with the martial arts mindset and stuff that I keep with me, I think that there's a balance, because I've had that as well. It's like, no, you push through the pain. No, you push through you have to, like, resiliency at a time in my life was like, you don't feel the injury, you just push through it. You don't let that bad thing that happened to you in life affect you. You're bigger than this. You're stronger than this, right? And realizing now as a man that there's a balance with those things. It's not just to push through. You're right. Yeah,
you're right. I think it's honoring where you're at in the moment, and honoring where kids are at and what they're feeling in the moment. But even all the youth that I work with, it's like, okay, this is what's coming up for you. It's like feeling it, processing it, but not staying stuck there.
Yeah. And giving them the tools to be able to feel that, and that, I think that's what resiliency really is. It's not feeling it.
Right.
It's like what you just said. It's honoring where you're at, feeling where you're at, understanding where you're at, and then
moving forward.
Yeah, and practicing the tools to be able to move forward quicker next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And noticing what shifts it for you.
Yeah. 100%.
And that looks different for everybody. Those practices and those tools look different for everybody.
100%.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not staying stuck. Yeah. Not staying stuck in, like, I don't even know if I want to say it.
Yeah.
Staying stuck in, like, I was going to say victim mentality, but I don't even know if I should say that, but I just said it.
No,
so,
it makes sense though.
Not staying stuck.
Yes. Just stuck in general, in victim, in perpetrator, in any of those scenarios. It's like knowing, like, this is where I'm at now, understanding why I'm here, where I want to go, and then getting the tools to go from there.
Mm-hmm. Right? And there's so many great resources out there for so many different things, and so much support that people offer for so many different things.
It's true.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
I have one more question for you.
Okay. Before we run You're getting out a book. Yeah. Should I be scared?
No, my last guest left a question in this book for you.
Oh.
They didn't know it was going to be you.
Oh, cool.
But this is just something I do. I'll ask.
Oh, and then do I get to leave a question?
You get to leave a question for my next guest.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to ask you this question. I'll get your thoughts on it.
This is fun.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
On your hardest day, what would the version of you on your best day say to you to help you through it?
Oh, wow.
I can repeat it one more time for you. On your hardest day, what would the version of you on your best day say to you to help you through it?
You are safe and you're loved. Take a deep breath. You got this.
I love it.
Pretty simple.
But powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it is actually.
Where can people get the book?
You can purchase the book at Indigo. It's at the Indigo South stores right now. So the Shaughnessy location and the South Trail location.
Okay.
And then on Amazon.ca.
With color.
And it's global and it's color now. Whoop, whoop.
I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Or you can reach out to me too. You can always DM me.
And Instagram handles?
Growing the Light is my Instagram handle. And then growing.the.light@gmail.com.
Awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking when I created that, but that's okay.
We'll link them in the show notes so that people can find you.
Yeah.
Whether it's the book or whether it's just the content that you're putting out or just your overall being, I know people will just like benefit from just experiencing you. So
thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you being here so that my audience can experience you. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
To sit and chat.
Thank you.
And thanks everybody for listening and watching. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.
I love it.